We haven't done Achi's story yet this hour of being 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So let's see what Achi's up to. Oh, they're running. Achi and Hitomi scampered through the back roads of Center Gai, white sneakers and pumps slapping on the pavement. Achi kept his eyes peeled, continually checking ahead and behind as they darted through the gaps in the buildings. Finally, they stopped in a narrow alley. "There's no way he'll find us here," he said. "No one knows about this place." He took another look around, then let out a sigh of relief. It seemed they'd managed to shake the gunman for now. Back when Achi was with SOS, he'd come through Center Gai practically every day. The gang had started out as a little more than a group of local teens. They didn't do much in particular, just horsing around and killing time. What mattered was that they were having fun. How true. But it wasn't long before it wasn't all fun and games. Achi couldn't help but notice the slobs who were making a mess of Shibuya, dirtying it all up. He wasn't about to let them get away with it. Most frequently, it was folks who tossed cigarette butts out on the street or plastered walls in graffiti. When they didn't respond to his more gentle warnings, he found slightly more forceful ways of getting his point across. SOS got a reputation. Street punks started trying to pick fights with its members. Those guys required a bit more force to handle, and when it came to the worst of the lot, the drug dealers, the muggers, the guys who tried to force themselves on women, it was full-on battle, no holds barred. Before long, SOS had established itself as something of a vigilante corps. Soon, it became known as one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya. "Let's lay low here for a bit and see what happens," Achi said. The alley where they hid was like a dimly lit chasm obscuring them from view. The only problem now was figuring out what to do next. They needed to find the blue van again, which meant figuring out the best way to get back to Dogenzaka without the man with the cane catching them once more. "Achi?" Hitomi whispered. "I think I can handle myself from here." She got to her feet and gave Achi a deep bow. "Whoa!" Achi held up a hand. "We've been over this already. You're not going to be okay. That guy has a gun. If he let her go up against that assassin alone, he might as well be the one to pull the trigger himself." "Thank you so much for everything you've done for me," Hitomi continued, as if she hadn't heard him. She started to shuffle out of the alleyway. "Hey, what did I just say?" "Really, Achi, I appreciate your concern, but I can't in good conscience put you in danger anymore." "But, I mean..." Achi tried to press the point, but Hitomi cut him off. "There's no good reason for you to risk yourself to keep helping me." Her tone was resolute. "Do we leave her?" I say no, because the last time she wanted to do something by herself and Achi was like, "Yeah, go do it," she got in trouble and she got kidnapped. So let's say no. Refuse to back down. Achi was determined to help her anyway. "Look, I want to help people who are in trouble. What's wrong with that?" "Huh?" He locked eyes with Hitomi, willing her to listen. "I'm not the most dependable guy, I know that. But still, Hitomi dropped her gaze and Achi trailed off, feeling like an idiot. "It's no use. I'm no use." He hung his head with a sigh. Just then, a bit of light shone into the alleyway from above. It looked like someone on the adjacent building's upper floor had turned on the lights. "What do you mean, someone?" "Tama! We can't go there yet, but now we know how to get to her." Maybe we should have done her story first. Okay. The light illuminated Hitomi's face. When Achi saw the look in her eyes, he reconsidered his decision. She was trying her hardest to hide it, but she was clearly terrified. No way he was letting her go back out there alone. Still, if he tried to insist, she would only refuse him again. "Hitomi? Humor me for a second. Tell me, what's the proper way to dispose of a plastic bottle?" She stared at him in surprise. Well, first you remove the cap and the wrapper. Then you rinse out the inside and crush it." Achi let out the breath he'd been holding. "Okay, good." "I don't understand. What's good?" "Oh my God. You gave me my reason why I have to help you out." I super respect people who respect the environment. I'm one of those, whatchamacallits, an environmentalist. Achi pointed at the mean, clean t-shirt. Hitomi hesitated. And what was your plan if I'd said the answer was to toss the plastic into the trash? Well, then I'd need to stick with you to help teach you. Environmental awareness begins with good education. So then you were gonna tag along with me regardless. Look, I'm just super pumped to learn that you care so much about proper recycling. Achi cracked a huge grin. Yeah, he looks like he's really happy. Okay then. Okay. If you're really that sure about it, I guess I could use your help a little while longer. Hitomi flashed him a little smile. That does look like a little smile, yes. Man, she's so cute, Achi thought. Then something else caught his eye. What's that there? It looked like something black was stuck to the top of her head. Achi, what are you staring at? You've got something stuck there. What, on my head? Without thinking, Hitomi reached up and plucked it off. It was about 10 centimeters long. Its body was glistening black, sporting feelers and several pairs of legs. It began to writhe and wriggle between Hitomi's slender fingers. Ah! It's a cockroach! He jumped backwards, but Hitomi didn't so much as flinch. Ooh, sorry. That gave me a bit of a start, he continued. Guess it must have fallen from one of the windows up there. Still, Hitomi did not move. Hitomi? She didn't appear to hear him. Hello? Hitomi? Ugh. With a muffled gurgle, Hitomi passed out on the spot, her body as stiff as a mannequin. What? Hitomi, are you okay? I think she's scared of bugs, I guess. No matter how loudly Achi called her name, Hitomi would not come to. What do you mean? This can't be a bad ending. She'll wake up eventually. She's not dead. What, are you just wandering the streets by your... Did you leave her in the alleyway? From that day onward, Achi devoted even more of his time and energy to collecting trash. It became his personal passion to see that his city was a clean one, devoid of cockroaches. That was the mandate he had been handed, or if nothing else, his atonement. Did she die from a cockroach being on her head? Oh my God, she's in heaven. I can't wait to read. I can't wait to read what this possibly could have been. Hitomi passed out after a cockroach fell under her head from out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere exactly. Hitomi and Achi were right underneath the Nokane building where they're selling Burning Hammer. A cat and a cockroach had been fighting it out on one of the upper floors. The cat, Tama, was victorious, but if it had run away instead, things would have turned out differently down below. Okay, so we need to play Tama, and Hitomi died. She fell on the street and died instantly from cockroach scare. So we need to play Tama, and we need to not squish a bug. We need to run away from a bug. In 1 hour, the Burning Hammer sales demo will begin. So at 2 o'clock, okay. Or at 1 o'clock, because it's 12 now. Cherry's eating chips. Cherry's laying out the assortment of snacks that we'll have on hand. Hey, Tama, are you hungry? Why, yes, I am. I mean, that should be pretty obvious at this point. All I've had since putting on the stupid mascot costume is some Burning Hammer and a bunch of iced tea. Hey now, Cherry shoots back. What's with the attitude? Cherry, you do remember that you ate my lunch, right? The sticker said it was best before noon. You just made that up. Yeah. Cherry chortles merrily and chugs some more iced tea. Okay, folks, Mr. Yanagashita calls out as he slips into the room. Lunch break's over. Back to work. I don't feel like I've had much of a break. If anything, I'm even more mentally exhausted than I was before. There's a box full of Anagochi toys in the storeroom on the 3rd floor. Mind bringing those down? Anagachi, I ask, what's that? I don't know either. The name make it sound like some sort of product knockoff, like a Tamagotchi. Mr. Nagashita's face widens in surprise. You've never heard of them? Anagachi. It's a digital pet game where you raise an eel that lives in Tokyo Bay. Never heard of it. Well, I guess maybe a lot of people in Japan haven't heard of it yet. But it's all the rage with the youngsters over in NYC. NYC? Oh, he must mean New York City. It's popular in New York? Really? Anyway, I did some quick checking and that's what I learned. So last month, I bought a whole bunch of them. And once again, you were swindled. Yep. Cheery dropping the hard truth. Mr. Yanagashita let out a pathetic whimper. No! Just like that, his confidence evaporates. He starts muttering to himself. I thought it sounded a little fishy, really. I mean, think about it. Why would kids in New York be interested in raising eels from Tokyo Bay? And what appeal would an eel character have anyway? None, that's what. I should have known that. I did know it. Then why'd you buy them? The farce is getting tiresome. Anyway, Yanagashita continues, it was gonna cost way too much to keep them in storage, so I was just gonna let the recycling guy take them. He hangs his head in shame. In a matter of moments, he's borderline catatonic. Cheery, on the other hand, flashes a big bright grin. Still, you know, eel's pretty delicious. Oh, Cheery, Yanagashita blurts. Thank you. He clasps her hands in gratitude. I wasn't exactly complimenting you there. It's the same thing. There's a little bit of me in each one of my products. Anagachi and I are one and the same, which is to say, eels and I are one and the same. Go on then, say something nice about eels. Cheery chimes right in without missing a beat. Eels are awesome. When it comes to eel sushi, 100 pieces barely whets my appetite. You know, these two make quite a pair. That really means a lot to me, Cheery. Thank you, thank you. I don't understand what any of this is about, but if it helps mend Mr. Yanagashita's wounded spirits, I guess I can't complain. I leave them to their devices and head for the storeroom. I do like eel sushi, it's pretty good. Oh. The storeroom door opens with a rough, grating sound. Ugh, where's the light switch? That doesn't look like a light switch. That looks like a fuse box. I fumble around the dark, feeling for the switch box. My costume paws mute the sensation in my hands enough that even finding that is difficult. Oh! I bat at the wall willy-nilly until eventually the lights come on. Apparently I found the switch, even if I didn't feel it. That doesn't look like something you should be sticking your hand in, you know? Whoa. What the heck is this? I don't know, what are we looking at? The storeroom is practically overflowing with shoddy goods. A painting that looks like a child's scribblings. An oddly shaped hat bearing the words, grow 2 inches, guaranteed. A cheap looking pendant with a tag that says, it's set with a miracle stone. It's like a knockoff boneyard where cheap products go to die. They break away from their pathetic herd knowing their time has come and end up in this graveyard of a storeroom. Let's see, Anagachi. Ooh, I quickly spy the cardboard box I'm looking for. Then I catch sight of a dark silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Eek! I yelp. It's a bug. We have to run away from the bug. It's one of them. The size, the speed, the dark shape. Couldn't be anything else. It peers back at me from the shadow of the Anagachi box, the faint light catching the luster of its carapace? It looks ready to leap out at me at any moment. I need to act fast. No, I snatch the cardboard box and run away. Run away from the bug. There you go. There she goes. She made a run for it. Whew, I made it. When I get back to the break room, Mr. Nagashita is still clutching Cheery's hands. An eel's super tasty when you salt broil it too. Thank you. but tempura style is probably the best. Thank you. Well, Mr. Yanagashita's spirits have certainly turned around. Okay, I got it. I hold out the big cardboard box. Excellent, thank you. You girls are the greatest. His voice resounds with gratitude. Hey, that's it. I just got an amazing idea. Why don't the three of us start our own company? I'll pass. That's like a no. I learned they do this like for no. Like just no thank you. Cheery and I respond in unison, no. Man, you two shot that one down quick. Well, for today, let's just focus on selling Burning Hammer. By the way, I ask, where is the Burning Hammer? There wasn't any in the storeroom, and I don't see any here either. Oh, that's right. It's out back on the loading dock. We should probably go bring it in. And bring the Onagachis with you, too. The recycling guy's going to be showing up soon. Come on, let's go! Cherry and I follow Mr. Yanagashita out onto the loading dock. But the loading dock, it turns out, is empty. There's no sign of Burning Hammer anywhere. It's gone, Mr. Yanagashita murmurs. Then his voice rises to a shout. It's gone! All gone! The Burning Hammer, it's all gone! Flying into a panic, he searches frantically from one end of the dock to the other, leaping into the air, even peering down into the cracks. But no matter where he looks, there's nothing for him to find. It was right here a little while ago, like right here, right here! I hear the sound of an engine revving outside. Mr. Yanagashita cries out in alarm, "The recycling man took it!" You can see a truck starting to pull away. The bed is piled high with cardboard boxes and other assorted trash. Hey, boss, is that... there it is! Mr. Yanagashita begins racing after the truck. My burning hammer! His voice cracks as he cries out. Give that back! Give it back! But he's no match for a speeding truck, and the boxes of burning hammer vanish before his eyes. Burning hammer! Come back! Oh no. No! The recycling man took it. Yanagashita's wails echo from the surrounding buildings. It's like something out of a movie. What's up with that truck? Tama, who was that? Hey, don't look at me, I reply. With all those piles of stuff, it looked like the recycling guy. As soon as he says it, revelation dawns on his face. The recycling guy? I can see the color draining from his face. The words recycling guy give me an idea. If it was him, maybe he thought he was picking up the Onagachis by mistake? We have to find it! We have to find that truck. The man is absolutely beside himself. Chiri, Tama, you two split up, try to track it down. Wait, why do we have to look for it? Again, Chiri and I speak in chorus. If there's no sales demo, there's no money to pay you. And then all the work you've done will be for nothing. Right, when he puts it that way, I guess there isn't much of a choice. Somehow or another, we'll have to find that truck. It can't have gotten far, he continues. Now go hunt for it like your life depends on it. We don't want to. Chiri and I are best friends at this point, by the way. We look at each other and sigh. How do you want to do this, she asks. You want to search together or should we split up? I think we should split up. We'll cover more ground. Chiri and I go our separate ways, searching for the truck full of junk. I feel like that's a good plan, but my plans usually end up with someone in jail, so I make my way to Center Guy. I ran into the guy, Mr. Whatever. I think it starts with a T. I'm so focused on searching all over, I lose track of where I'm going. I wind up bumping right into a man who's hurrying along with his daughter. We need to make sure he does not go anywhere. Oh, pardon me. I hop back to my feet, go to bow to the man in apology. Ow! Oh no, he bows at the same time, and we managed to bonk our heads together. Sorry. Oh, as her dad drops to his knees, clutching his head, the girl just begins to wander off. Hey, Hana, wait. The man lurches to his feet and rushes after the girl. She seems like an odd kid, only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. Well, her dad did just say that he was going to kill herself in front of her, so that might mess you up a little bit. Nursing my own sore head, I make it all the way to Shibuya Station, but there's no sign of the truck. I'll probably never find it by just wandering around randomly. It's already 12:35. The sales demo starts in 25 minutes. I have serious doubts I'll be able to find the truck by then. Arg! What should I do? Oh, don't ask me. Oh, we're locked out of her story. That means we didn't make a bad decision, though. I think that just... Oh, we can go over from Achi's story now. We have saved What's-Her-Face from the cockroach. So she will not die. She will not die. Hitomi flashed him a little smile. She's so cute. And her hair is bug-free. Sneaking out from the alley, Achi and Hitomi began to make their way along the side streets back toward Dogenzaka. It was a pretty big detour compared to taking the main thoroughfares, but that would be worth it if it meant they avoided the man with the cane and the gun. They're calling him the gunman, but then they refer to him with like the man with the cane, when I think the gun is probably the more important thing that he has. Also, this is so hard to read when they do background pictures like this. Why would you put text on a background like this? Achi looked over at Hitomi as she walked alongside him. Her face was solemn. He could feel the intensity of her worry for her sister. Oh, well, 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 look who's got himself a little cutie. The sudden call startled him. He spun around. Yo, mean clean, over here. Achi spotted a young man up ahead, sneering at him. It's Punks! At his side were two others. Achi recognized the lot. SOS. Hitomi let out a nervous squeak. Achi? Don't worry about them. He led her onward, attempting to stride right past the trio. Whoa, hey now, you just gonna ignore me? That's pretty rude, especially coming from someone who used to be an old buddy. The three toughs moved to bar Achi's path. She is fine. Come on, ain't you gonna introduce us? Sorry, man, Achi said. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He gave them a tepid smile. A big hurry? Where to? Some love hotel? Too rich, another chimed in. She's a screamer, Achi. Achi. They burst out howling like a gang of monkeys. One of them cackled like a grinning idiot. These translations are so bizarre. Okay. Achi felt his anger boil. Should we kick their butts? Should we get in a fight? I don't know if we should get in a fight right now. Let's get in a fight. Why not? These guys were in sore need of a major butt kicking. Achi stepped up as the ringleader. Oh my god! I think you just gotta punch the main one. The tough guy dropped to the ground with a dull thud. Sorry, that was terribly rude of me. Achi kept his tone light and jovial, but he eyed the others like a hawk eyeing its prey. Is he gonna be alright? Hitomi murmured. She looked at the man Achi had laid out with some concern. He'll be fine. If that's all it took to knock him out, he's got no right to act all tough. Achi, huh? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Oh, who's this guy? A taller man with an angry gleam in his eyes had appeared atop the steps nearby. He must have turned up during the commotion. He radiated a distinct aura of menace. Is this like the current leader guy? Maybe. That's me, Achi replied, and just who are you? For once, it was someone he didn't recognize. The name's Yoji Kiryu. I joined up with SOS after you left. Now I am Susumu's number 2 guy. The newcomer stared at Achi's face, sizing him up. Our legendary founder, I've heard so much about you. The founder. It had been a long time since anyone called him that. There'd been a bunch of arguing over who would take charge of the new group that was forming to set things straight in Shibuya. At some point, folks had started hailing him as the force behind SOS. But founder, that was just something his buddies called him. He never paid it much mind. Shibuya was a place for fun, not hierarchies. At least in Achi's mind, that was how it ought to be. Like how you busted up some mean old drug dealers, rescued your pals from Yakuza bondage. You're a real hero. Kiryu's tongue flicked from his mouth like a snake. Hitomi shuddered. Achi couldn't blame her for being creeped out. But that's all in the past now, isn't it? You went modestly on your way. It's up to us now. And we've helped SOS grow by leaps and bounds to help carry on your legacy, no matter who stands in our way. That thought didn't sit right with Achi. If aggressive expansion was the name of the game, the gang was losing touch with its roots. It wasn't about keeping Shibuya safe and fun anymore. Make SOS bigger, huh? He said. I'm guessing that was Sumu's call as well. Kiryu didn't answer the question. His mouth merely twisted into a knowing sneer. In any event, I think these boys here need a little lesson in manners. The guillotine ought to do the trick. The other gang members started in alarm. Whoa, hey, just calm down, man. Please, anything but the guillotine. All right, I'll bite. What's the guillotine? Oh, like a guillotine. Not like a name, like they made up a thing. Okay, they were talking about the actual one. Kiryu pointedly ignored their pleas. Whoa, hey, what's the guillotine? Achi asked. Kiryu smirked. The guillotine is the guillotine. With me, worms. Without a glance back, Kiryu strolled away. His two underlings followed him unhappily. Achi wondered what lay in store for them, but right now he had more important things to worry about. Come on, let's go. He took Hitomi by the hand. They were back on their way. That was just a little side quest. We just punched a guy. We're good now. We're good now. It's the song! Hitomi perked up. Oh, that's me. She reached into her pocket and took out her cell phone because her ringtone is because her dad got her the CD. That's right. Cute. Huh? She stared at the screen with consternation. What is it? Achi asked. It's an email. From Mr. Tanaka. Who's Mr. Tanaka? He works with my father. I'm not sure what I should do. Achi remembered that the criminal had warned her against contacting her family or the police. She seemed reluctant to even open this message. I'm sure it's fine just to read an email, he said. And besides, he's not the police and he's not your family. Yeah, you're right. Hitomi scanned the message anxiously. It sounds like he's worried about me, she said. Then does he know about the kidnapping? Yes, I know my father trusts him. And he's always been so... Hitomi cut herself short. Still, it was clear to Achi that she and this Tanaka person had some sort of close relationship. I wonder if it's safe for me to let him know what the situation is. I think it should be, Achi told her. Don't be giving her police advice. You don't know. You're not even in a gang anymore. I mean, the kidnappers aren't going to know you sent an email, right? Maybe it is the kidnappers. Maybe they've kidnapped Tanaka, and now they have his phone, and now they emailed you, and now they're going to lure you somewhere. Don't take advice from this guy. He already said he was dumb. Hitomi began typing out a response. He feels like he's questioning his choice. Achi watched over her, wild speculations running through his mind. There was no way a mild-mannered young lady like her could be dating one of her father's co-workers. That's what he thinks is happening? He thinks they're dating? No way. We can't jump to Osawa yet. Unless she was all about finding herself a sugar daddy? Yep, underfunded viral university researcher. That's a main candidate for a sugar daddy for sure. No, he was just being ridiculous. Achi banished the thought from his mind. Besides, Hitomi's personal life wasn't the problem right now. The problem was that psycho with the cane and the gun. Yeah, and the gun. Is something wrong? Hitomi asked. She finished sending her email. Oh, no, nothing at all. Achi did his best to look nonchalant. It was a good thing she couldn't read his mind. I just don't want you dating that older guy, that's all. I want to date you. I want to date you, and I don't want you dating that older guy. I know I just met you this morning, but I love you. They exited Center Guy and resumed their approach towards Dogenzaka by way of Maru Yamacho, another long detour to decrease their odds of running into the gunman. They made an unlikely pair, scruffy Achi, limbs lackadaisically swinging to hide his embarrassment, and brisk, purposeful Hitomi. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Achi found himself watching her out of the corner of his eye. He could still feel her anxiety. He wished there was some way he could ease her fears. Hey, Hitomi, mind if I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. Okay, so I realize this might be kind of a weird question, but he put on a serious face. What does the eco in eco-friendly mean? Huh? I know it's about helping the earth and all, but I don't know what that part really means, you know? Hitomi thought for a moment. I'm pretty sure it's for the English word ecology, which is the science of examining the relationship between man and nature. Oh, right. Science. Pleased with himself, Achi chattered on excitedly. A faint smile crept back onto Hitomi's face. Say, you ever hear about the clean river here in Shibuya? A clean river? In Shibuya? Really? Ask 100 youngsters outside of Shibuya Station the same question. You'd probably get that same answer 100 times. Yeah, the Shibuya River. You know, that drainage channel we saw earlier? Wait, that's the clean river you're talking about? By no reasonable definition was the Shibuya River what anyone would call clean. That's the one! Achi grinned at her confusion. See, the river used to be clean a long time ago. I read about it in this old book called Science Strikes Back. I used to have that book, Hitomi chirped, her eyes wide with excitement. You're talking about that bit with the river that got turned into a song? Yeah, that's the one. You read it too? I did. Achi felt a giddy rush at this unexpected connection they shared. Imagine if there was still a clean, beautiful river here in Shibuya. It'd be the perfect place for taking a romantic stroll. Hitomi looked up at Achi. She seemed to share the joy in this idea. Wouldn't it be amazing, Achi said, if that dirty little channel could be clean like it used to be? It would. Maybe as amazing as the look on Hitomi's cute face right now, Achi thought. Hitomi, tell me some more ecology stuff. Hit me with whatever you got. She seemed happy to oblige, and so as they walked along, Hitomi explained the bits of knowledge she'd picked up over the years. Achi was quiet, hanging on her every word. The return to Dogenzaka became an impromptu environmentalism lecture. Hitomi continued until she'd exhausted her ready knowledge. I just don't get it, Achi grumbled when she paused at last. I mean, why is it a bad thing if the planet gets warmer? Wouldn't that make winter in places like Hokkaido way easier? No, you see, because if the whole planet gets warmer, it'll cause the whole ecosystem to collapse. Achi racked his brain. And the ecosystem is what again? Why was he like the director of picking up garbage and he doesn't know anything? Is that like a solar system? Images of the cosmos filled his imagination. No, not really, Hitomi said. So it's more like a sound system then? Not really. Oh, but anyway, you're saying the problem is with the, what was it again? Carbon dioxide. Yeah, that stuff. I'm gonna have to cut down on that. Sure. That settles it, Achi declared. No more soda for me. Soda? Hitomi asked. Yeah, it's carbonated, right? Hitomi burst out laughing. You're so dumb. What? I'm serious. You don't think I can do it? I'm sorry. It's just... You're so dumb. Her face froze, her mirth abruptly vanishing. Oh no. Huh? Achi stared at her face in alarm. What is it? That man with the gun! He turned his attention to the direction Hitomi was looking. The man with the cane and the gun was bearing down on them. Oh, come on, you've got to be kidding me. He grabbed Hitomi's hand and ran. They got too excited, distracted, talking about the environment. This time he headed down the main road, hoping to get lost in the crowd. Hitomi struggled to keep up. She was exhausted after all their earlier running. You can do it, he told her. The guy's got a cane. We can outrun him. The assassin was still hurrying after them. Once we get around the next corner, we'll be out on the main road. Yeah, okay. She strained to get the words out. Bit by bit, her feet were slowing down. It was another 50 meters or so to the main road. Achi realized they might get caught before they got there. Sorry, Hitomi, but I gotta do this. I was gonna say, pick her up. He scooped her up in his arms. Get her off the ground. Eep! By the time the squeak had escaped her mouth, Achi was already running full out. Achi, please put me down. Don't worry, you're super light. Achi glanced back and saw the assassin, now far behind, break off his pursuit. But just as they rounded the corner, he heard a man call out to him. Wait, how'd he get around? Achi almost stopped on reflex. Hold on, did he just shout my name? How does he know my name? Quaking with unease, Achi slipped into the crowd. Oh, he was saying he stopped and then yelled out his name. I thought he was in front of them suddenly. Achi, could you please set me down now? A meek voice pulled up him from his panic. Huh? He looked down at the girl in his arms. People in the crowd all around them were watching and chuckling. I mean, I'm really happy you saved me and all, but being carried around like this is, Hitomi was blushing beet red, but Achi's expression had gone pale. Improper. Achi, wait! The man with the gun called out to him. Had he really heard that right? That's what it sounded like. He set Hitomi back on her feet, then used the shirt sleeve to wipe the sweat from his face. You okay? Hitomi asked. When we were running just now, did that guy say anything? Not that I heard, no. Huh. Had he just imagined it then? Maybe. Achi was sure he didn't recognize the man. There's something weird about that guy, though, Hitomi murmured. She furrowed her brow. No matter where we run, he keeps catching up to us. It's almost like he knows where we're going. She was right. Finding a particular pair of people in a place as big as Shibuya bordered on impossible. And yet somehow the assassin had tracked them down several times now. Does she have a tracker on her? Yeah, Achi said. It's like he's got some way of locating us or something. He got a sudden idea. That's it. What if they're doing the whole tracking thing, but like backwards? What? Hitomi's eyes widened. Okay, so you know how in police shows they always stick a tracking device in the bag with the ransom money? Like that, but backwards. Backwards? Yeah, like instead of putting the tracker on the money, they put it on you. Hitomi frowned. I don't see how I could possibly have a tracker on me, she said. I mean, I'm just wearing my clothes from home. Oh. Huh. Well, then how is he doing it then? Barely a moment passed from the moment he got the words out of his mouth. Oh my god, he's just lumbering around pointing a gun at them. Once again, the man with the cane stepped out on the road ahead of them. It really did seem as if he knew exactly where they were going to be. How is this happening? He reached for Hitomi's waist, ready to pick her up again. It's okay, I can run by myself. Achi took her by the hand instead. They raced into another alley. This is never ending. This guy will just not give up. At the far end of the alley, he could see a forklift parked beside a pile of cardboard boxes. Achi decided to drive the forklift into the assassin, like at half a mile an hour, just like, I'm coming for you. And then like, do what? Do what? What would that do? Guy has a gun. Throw the boxes at their pursuer. Yeah! Achi snatched up the nearest box, turned, and threw it at the man with the cane. The box was full of something heavy. This ought to do some damage. He watched with satisfaction as it struck the assassin in the face. The man staggered sideways. Here, have another! One by one, Achi hurled every box in the pile. And one for the road. Oh my god. The last box wasn't properly sealed. It broke open as it struck their pursuer, sending several bottles flying. Was it the burning hammer? They shattered as they crashed. Onto the street, splashing red liquid. It was the burning hammer, I think. Well, I thought the recycling guy took it. Oh no, it's the assassin dropped to one knee, scrubbing his face with his hand. It's like pepper spray. Achi looked on in surprise. He couldn't possibly have hit the guy that hard. Peering at the man more closely, he saw that he was spattered in the red liquid. Apparently, the stuff in the bottle had gotten in his eyes. Now's our chance! Achi took off with Hitomi, leaving their pursuer kneeling in the alley. Yeah, burning hammer. Straight to the face. Their ragged breathing echoed through the maze of side streets. All that work just to wind up fleeing for their lives again. Achi ground his teeth in frustration. Urgh! Hitomi. He groaned when they slowed down to catch their breath at last. I'm so sorry. Hitomi was nonplussed. Sorry, whatever for? I keep saying how I'm gonna help you, but instead I just keep putting you in danger. Achi, no. If you hadn't been with me, I'm sure I'd already be dead. Dead. No! Achi hurried to cut her off before she could finish. Don't go there, please. Ugh. He sighed, then spoke again more quietly. I just want to help you. Clenching a fist, he looked up at the sky. A tiny sliver of blue was visible through the narrow gap between the buildings. Hitomi hung her head. Honestly, I can hardly believe how much you've done for me. I do appreciate it, but still. The lengths you've gone to. Achi looked at his feet, then drew himself up. Well, I admit it's not just because of some gut instinct or your love for the environment, he said. There's another reason I'm doing this. There is? Achi paused, searching for the right words. I've got a little sister. Her name's Suzune. She's cute and smart. Kind of the exact opposite of me, you know? His voice took on an uncharacteristic solemnity. But she's got a weak heart, so she's in the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But what does that have to do with wanting to help me? Back when Suzune was first admitted, I'd go and visit her every day. But she... What's happening? Achi, you don't need to come visit me every day, you know. The quiet hospital room made Suzune's voice sound all the more frail. What are you talking about? Achi said. You know I'm worried about you. I'll be fine on my own, really. Achi had heard that line before. The more she insisted she was fine, the more reluctant he was to leave. Besides, aren't you the amazing guy who helps hold Shibuya together? They need you out there. Achi didn't know how to respond to that. Much as it was flattering to think he played some important role, he was really just hanging out, goofing off with his pals. It certainly wasn't anything for his sister to be proud of. I'd rather you spent your energy helping people who need it more than me. What do you mean, people who need my help more? Who could possibly need help more right now than you? Achi scratched his head in confusion, and his sister gave him a weak, tiny smile. You'll figure it out, she said. I'm sure they'll find you soon enough. But I'm going to be here with you. I'll be fine. Suzune's face was pale, but her tone was firm. My big brother is going to be out there, doing his best to help people. That's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me going. Her voice was clear and unwavering, as if to head off his rebuttal. All right, Achi said with a reluctant sigh. So then, I guess, I'll just go out there and help people who are in trouble? Satisfied, Suzune smiled. Thank you. And can you promise me one more thing? Of course. Anything you like. He thumped himself on the chest. If you're gonna help someone, make sure you see it all the way through to the end, okay? Okay. No calling it quits partway through. You got it. This seems oddly specific and made up. I just worry, Suzune said. I know you have a tendency to lose interest in things. Look, don't sweat it. I swear I won't give up on this. Pinky swear? Achi stuck out his pinky finger. But I want you to promise something in return. Promise me you won't let this thing beat you. Don't die, little sister. Suzune hooked her little finger around her brother's, her sad smile fragile as glass. And so there you have it, Achi said. Kind of a rubbish story, I know, not very funny. So your sister's heart condition is pretty bad? Achi nodded. You know, she called me amazing. There's nothing amazing about me. Suzune, she's the amazing one. She's been in the hospital so long in so much pain, but she never complains. All I do is hang out and goof off with my friends. Gave a shrug. But I just kept thinking about how happy she'd be if I really did help people. It had turned out that finding people in need hadn't been all that simple. The only helpful thing Achi had been able to think of was going around and picking up trash. And that's why Suzune's idiot brother left SOS to be Shibuya's garbage man. Did your friends know, Hitomi asked, about your sister? I didn't tell them. I didn't want to pin this all on her being sick. Ah, I see. At least now Hitomi understood what the fight with the local toughs had been about. The sound of approaching footsteps jerked them back into the present. He had to get away from this guy. The man with the cane appeared at the end of the alley. He raised his gun. There was no time to flee. Achi quickly stepped in front of Hitomi. If you shoot us here, people are going to come running, he said. I'm guessing you don't want to get pegged for murder. I mean, maybe. You don't know him. The assassin didn't flinch. Stay out of my way, Achi. This time, there was no doubt. The gunman had spoken Achi's name loud and clear. How do you know who I am? The man stared at him through the sights of his gun. She has to die, Achi. It's for your own good. What? What does he mean? Hitomi whispered. I think he means you have to die. Achi, what is he talking about? Achi's mind was a whirl. Things were coming at him too fast for him to process. I don't know this guy. Hitomi, please, you have to believe me. But Hitomi took a doubtful step away from Achi. The assassin didn't miss his opening. He quickly aimed for her. Cut the crap, man. What do you mean killing her is for my own good? Once she's dead, you'll understand. The gunman's finger tightened on the trigger. It's not a bad ending. It's to be continued. This was supposed to happen. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Intrigue. More people are coming into the story. Okay. So couldn't we jump? Do we have to jump anymore? We gotta go back to Osawa because we had to jump to him. Maybe we'll find out what the email was that his guy sent Hitomi. The rain won't let up. No matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound, driving me to strip my life down to shadows. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of the rain stop. Very dramatic. Osawa stared at a postcard that was nestled into the final page of the photo album. He'd purchased it 2 years earlier while on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. He'd mentioned that he was being sent there on business, and Maria had just blurted out, "I want to go with you." She'd recently developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she had been yearning to see that area firsthand. His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She had always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations aboard the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence, it all felt like such a distant memory to Osawa now. "Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that." He heard Kajiwara's voice outside the door. "Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit." The detective was arguing with I. "Great. And just who was it who told me I should try and go out and live my life as normal? Ma'am, please. How would you feel about being told to just sit around and wait?" I's angry shriek jerked Osawa to his feet. He hurried down from the study to try to calm her down. Second wife, by the way, not the girl's mom. Let her go. Who cares? "Ma'am, please wait." By the time Osawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajiwara's attempts to stop her. "What are those pants? Are those like... That's a weird texture of pant. It's like kind of shiny, but like wrinkly too." Osawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped her from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would only have made for an even worse uproar. He was glad that at least it hadn't come to that. He was turning to head back to the study when Kajiwara caught his eye. The little man. Resigned, he headed down the stairs and bowed to the detective. The little man is back. "Any idea where she's going?" Kajiwara asked. "I mean, at a time like this?" Osawa shook his head. "I wouldn't know. I didn't think so." "You know, your wife really is something else." Osawa arched an eyebrow. "That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact." "Oh, no offense intended. It's just that ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms." The more Kajiwara spoke, the more irritated Osawa became. "What's your point?" he demanded. "I just mean, you haven't been having any marital discourse." "Mind your business," Osawa snapped. Kajiwara dipped his head deferentially. "The two of us not talking isn't a new thing anyhow. I have a policy of not having pointless conversations." Huh. It didn't look as though Kajiwara quite understood. Microorganisms, such as viruses, don't have conversations. And yet still, they continually propagate in order to survive. Thinking about viruses, Osawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a surge of confidence. Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary. "And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Osawa?" "Of course I do. To be a family." Arms crossed, Kajiwara struck out a thoughtful pose. "At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Osawa, namely that you don't like to have pointless conversations. It's a good thing to know." Kajiwara uncrossed his arms for a moment, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow. "But see, that's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me because you keep coming to talk to me." Osawa was real mad. "You don't leave me much of a choice." Tanaka poked his head out of the living room. "Hello. Is something the matter?" he asked. No." Osawa struggled to regain his calm. "Perfect timing, actually. There's something I need to talk to you about." He turned back to Kajiwara. "My apologies, detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy?" "Get up off the floor." Kajiwara didn't move. "Detective?" Osawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile. Yes, what is it? Kajiwara said at last. Don't you play dumb with me. Give us some privacy. Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear? Actually, yes, it's work-related. There are business matters I'd prefer to keep confidential. Ah, I see. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away into the living room. Tanaka, Osawa began, about those emails. He stopped abruptly. Kajiwara had appeared in the living room door, staring right at them. What are you doing? Osawa demanded. Oh, should I not be watching? Osawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel. I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch. Because it should be obvious. The detective made a scolded puppy face, then closed the living room door. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. He'd never been an extrovert, but he didn't recall human interaction being quite this draining. Anyway, sir, Tanaka prompted, you were saying? Yes, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside. Sharing an Okoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development required the approval of an executive committee that included Osawa himself. There should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding. Are you aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman? Osawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Factional rivalries held no interest for him whatsoever. Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to, you know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security? In theory, it was physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory where it was kept required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. Without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. Tanaka followed his drift. Ah, yes, I see what you mean. He inclined his head in thought as Osawa continued. Could someone have overwritten the fingerprint authentication program? Maybe. I don't know how that works. Check the entry logs from the storage section. Wouldn't that just say your fingerprints? Maybe someone used your fingerprints, like they got them somehow, and they made like a mold of them. I don't know. Can you do that with fingerprints? We'll just have to ask Makino in person. They said something about meeting someone outside their house. The one bad ending we got said a certain someone's gonna have to meet another certain someone outside of their house. So actually, let's do this one. We'll just have to ask Makino in person. The fact that the antiviral had been used for clinical testing, either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way they could have bypassed lab security without anyone knowing? Osawa couldn't think how it would be possible. Well, go ask him. Kajiwara, are you kidding me? The living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara. He looked stiff and pale. Something terrible has happened, he said. Visions of tragedy flooded Osawa's mind. Maria. Is she? Kajiwara shook his head. No, it's not that. What is it then? Osawa asked, his voice trembling. Sir? I need you to stay calm. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. You see, the toilet's clogged. Okay. I thought Hitomi had gotten shot. Plunger in hand, Osawa stabbed vigorously at the I can read this word. Recalcitrant? I don't know what that means. Toilet bowl. Struggling to loosen the unseen blockage. Recalcitrant? Recalcitrant. Describes someone or something stubbornly resistant to authority, control, or guidance, meaning they are uncooperative, disobedient, or difficult to manage. Word of the day. There you go. Hajiwara was at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag. How did this even happen? The detective groaned. Are you kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that. The plunger sucked and slurped at the porcelain base. This was a first for Osawa. He'd never tried to unclog a toilet before in his life. Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Osawa. What are you talking about? What about this constitutes a blessing? I just meant that at least this happened before you needed to do your business. Without the slightest hint of guile on his face, Kajiwara picked up his bucket and headed for the sink back in the washing area. Grumbling to himself, Osawa pumped the plunger over and over again. This was almost funny. Almost ridiculous, in fact. His daughter had been kidnapped, and he was stuck unclogging a toilet. He was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy, and here he was, unclogging a toilet. Tanaka poked his head into the bathroom. Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the second floor. That's all right. Here's fine. Tanaka stepped in beside him. Abruptly shut the bathroom door. The two men were crammed together in the narrow lavatory. Hey, what are you doing? Tanaka made eye contact with Osawa via the mirror. I don't want to see this. He spoke in a hushed voice. I've been waiting for the moment I could get you alone. What? Tanaka sidled around to face him, giving him an intense stare. Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment? Tanaka had tears in the corners of his eyes. This will only take a moment. Osawa could feel the warm breath of the deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. I say, we gotta see what this is. Do as you wish. What's happening? All right, do as you wish. Osawa closed his eyes. Are you sure you're ready for this? I'm not sure. This is all happening pretty fast. To be honest, I'm rather nervous. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in that lab together. Suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Could you please open your eyes? I'd like you to look at this. You'll have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir, take a look. No, I can't. It's just the two of us. It's probably going to shock you, I know, but please just look. Is it really that shocking? Oh, yes, very. Now, please open your eyes. Okay. No, I can't. Sir, trust me, this isn't easy for me either. All right. Bracing himself, Osawa opened his eyes. Tanaka thrust out his cell phone. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Osawa blinked, bewildered, then refocused on the phone. He could never have anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. What? Are you kidding me?